Good evening. It's 3 minutes after 17 hours. I prefer to use what we call the military time because we are a people at war for the cause of freedom, at war to safeguard our humanity, at war for the protection of our territory, at war with ourselves. Unfortunately, we have not allowed ourselves to fight just one war, which is the war that the external party brings upon us. But we've decided to allow ourselves to be used to fight wars amongst ourselves. And by so doing, let ourselves to be hoodwinked by a very brutal and evil system in Yaoundé. We've created a situation where every time we find a good one trying to do something positive, we are hoodwinked to label them. And the best labeling has always been traitors, sellouts, and all whatnot. I've decided not to judge people on those bases of traitors, sellouts, and because the Russians has this coinage, what they talk of the useful idiot. It's a very good coinage because useful idiots, because they are people who might just turn against their own people or against their own state. For not just cause, they haven't collected money from the other side, but they hate themselves, you know what I mean. We see this has been happening in our continent for a very long time, where you find young men who hate themselves being blacks, using all types of lotion to remove their body, the melanin, what protects the melanin that they have on their body. For that one, that is what I call self-hatred. You find beautiful young African women who hate themselves so much that they think that the nails, the fingernails which God gave them is not good enough. If you don't even believe in God, the one that they were born with is not good enough. They don't like the hair they carry, which was given to them based on who they are. They don't like it. So they've decided to be like the other people, the same people that we are trying to run away, the same people who thingified our foreparents, transformed them into slaves and all whatnot, and who up till date still did not truly, many of them, respect our humanity. So that's self-hatred. And many of us have allowed ourselves to be manipulated into this type of self-hatred within the struggle. I didn't want to come online to talk about this issue because there are so many burning things that are going on in the struggle. And a good number of individuals who used to show up online have technically disappeared. They no longer have the self-encouragement to come online, either to educate our people or even to cause the nuisance that they normally do. Because some of this nuisance has really been good, because at times it's a good laugh, or it makes us to sit on our toes. But nearly everyone, vast majority, have technically escaped. They are no longer online. And people have transformed themselves to 3, 4, 5, 6 different fake names. Some have changed phone numbers, and you find one individual who might be representing 10 different people. One person, he has 10 different phone numbers. He's Mr. This today, he's this one tomorrow, he's this one tomorrow. You find all of these things in the struggle. But you see, the caption of this discussion is not for sale. What do I mean by that? I am passing this message in particular to the International Communities Organization. The group, the UK-based organization that reached out to one of our own brother and son. Many of you will not like that appellation, but that is how we'll still call him, who is now in Canada. And they came up with this so-called framework for peace. I want them to understand that we will not allow our homeland and all the young men and women who have died to be transformed into another Democratic Republic of the Congo, which from the time they killed Patrice Emery Lumumba up to date have not been at peace with itself. Even when Mobutu Sese Seko Kukumbende Wasabanga was in power, the DRC, especially the eastern part of the land, has still not been in peace. And the reason is because of organizations that are acting similarly to the same way that the International Communities Organization, the ICO, has acted of late. And from a personal perspective, I am deeply, deeply disappointed in them. I am. And I want to make this very, very clear. I do not work on hearsay. I do not play games. I do not. I know of recent, Dr. Janarius Asongu said some stuff I call crazy stuff because I've not met with him, I've not spoken with him. Since I came to this country, the United States, I don't even need to tell you people that this is someone who came to my house, but disguised himself for me not to recognize him. So I've never spoken with him. Not to talk of Dr. Gabila or who. I've not spoken to him because I hear people go online and they make a lot of statements. I know I spoke to Dr. Fonche, Florentine. And if someone has misquoted me, misrepresented what I have said, or misunderstood me, it must have come from him. He must have collected the information for whatever reasons. But for me now, I feel a little bit tingled that he could get information from me and take that information and misrepresent it with a team of individuals that I could now see them as a cabal of people who either have no knowledge of what they have got themselves involved into, or for one reason or another are useful idiots. That is the way I see it. The reason I want you people to listen carefully is because I want to put it as clear as possible. The International Communities Organization came up in 2018. They reached out to me within that time frame, 2018-2019. We had an exchange. However, this organization, whose principal architect, Mr. James Holmes, is a financial individual, someone working in the financial industry. They own a bank. Decided that when it was time to take whatever action they want to take, they needed a soft spot. They needed somebody that they could use, they could prop. And that is how they got the other young man, Capo Daniel. What I'm saying is what I've discussed with them, and I've discussed this with Capo. I've asked Capo, why do you think the ICO decided to come to you? Why? They came to me, 2019. If they thought they have gotten something that was good, and they wanted to get involved in resolving this conflict in the right way, that all conflicts are supposed to be resolved, how come that the ICO decided to reach out to humanitarian dialogue in Switzerland, trying to ask them about Capo Daniel and how they could prop him up? How they could prop him up so that they could use him for whatever stuff they are trying to do with La République du Cameroon in the guise of trying to resolve the conflict. This is exactly what happened. I've discussed this in a meeting myself, Capo, Dr. Fontaine, Barrister Chaps. And I asked, why do you think they came to you? And the answer is simple. It is because they thought he is a weak link. They are looking for someone who is weak. Someone they could manipulate. Someone they could use. That is why they will reach out to HD. And they are trying to find out about him. Because he was already making certain statements online. They wanted to find out and to prop him. Do you know what it means to prop an individual? Because this is exactly what the West have done in Africa and created a lot of dictators. They come into a country or into a territory. They find one individual they think is a useful idiot. They pick you. They give you shower. You will not understand what I mean. Literally. They shower you. And then they make sure they give you good body wear, perfume to put on. So that they can now use you in taking you to go through that party that they want to go into. So they came into the continent. They will go like to a country like Zaire, Congo, Democratic Republic. Pick up Mobutu. Arrange for Mobutu to kill Lumumba. Prop up Mobutu. Fix him up. This is what the Belgians did. And then they place him there. And somewhere along the line, the CIA said, thank you, Belgium. The CIA jumped on board. And Mobutu left that country. Not only killing so many people, he created the situation that you find in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo up to date, which has become a fief, a bastion for chaos, for minerals, by multinational firms, all from the Western world. So they needed someone to prop. This is what they said. They want to prop him up. Why do you want to prop him? You come into a struggle. You say you want to resolve the struggle. And you are not like, let me put it this way. If France or the United Kingdom as a country comes into a struggle and said, okay, we will look all of these people who are actors in this struggle from the side of the non-state actors. We will pick one person we think we can use and prop that individual. You will understand that when they prop that individual, they will be doing that for their own interests. Take, for example, that the USA or the UK wants to prop me up. Yeah, they will be propping me up. One, they might think that I might be the closest person who could deliver, not only for my people, but for them. Because they look at the benefits, the economic benefits. That is how states operate. States operate on benefits, whether you like it or not. So they will prop you up. This is a state. I'm not talking of an organization, especially one that claims to be involved in issues of resolving conflicts, which actually is acting not like one involved in resolving conflicts. They will take you, prepare you, and prop you up. So that while you are there and your people think you are working for them, you are actually working for that state. Because if they put you in place, you need to have a payback to that state. Either they will need to have investment in minerals, you need to sign secret deals with them. It has happened in Africa in so many aspects. So if Russia props you up, don't think they do it for free. No, no state works for free. Even when we sit here, we say, oh, we are happy with what is going on in Mali, Burkina Faso, and the rest. It is true. We are happy. But I can assure you that whether it is Russia, it is China, or which country, none of this country is doing this for free. Put that in mind. People of Africa, listen. None of this country is doing it for free. Not one of them. The only area where you can feel a little bit air off, you can breathe a little bit of air, is like what Gaddafi was doing, where he could allow African liberation movements to come to Libya and train and go back. For him, he's an African. His goal was to help liberate these people. But most of these countries that come from outside, they have interest. In the 60s, even when Cuba was involved, Cuba's interest was tactically the spread of communism. Cuba was isolated in the northern hemisphere. I applaud Cuba for what they were doing. And it is not right, it is not wrong for them ideologically to try to spread what they believe in and they think it works for them. They think it can work for a people like us. So bear this in mind. There is no country out there that will come and prop you up for nothing. In the name of, oh, we just want you people to be free because Biya is a dictator, is this. No, it doesn't happen that way. However, organizations that wants to prop you up, be very careful with them. When an organization that is involved in conflicts, as they say, says they're looking for someone who is weak enough that they can prop up so that that person can do their bidding, be very careful with that organization. I deal with everybody. I was aware of this, but I still thought we could work with still the same ICO and try to change things for the good of our people. Make them see the better way to go. Because we don't shut doors. You don't know which black cat can come out there and do something that is favorable for what all of us want. However, the ICO once and forever continuously proved to me as an individual that they have no idea of what they are trying to do. Or they thought they were too smart for us. They have gotten someone they can use and they think all of us can just fall on board and agree on everything. It didn't work well. These are things nobody will explain to you. I met with the ICO and I told them, I am prepared to work with you people as long as we'll be able to do it work for our people better. And the question I asked Capo, that question I said I asked Capo, why did you think the ICO reached out to me in 2019? And when they think, in quote, they're working with some multinational firms in Cameroon, the ICO, and there are minerals in Cameroon these firms are interested in. Part of these minerals, most of them are in our territory. So the goal is not to achieve, in quote, a negotiated settlement. That is why they keep talking about peace. And I told the ICO, no, this is not how you achieve peace. There is nothing like called peace when it comes to a negotiated settlement. Unnegotiated settlements are supposed to have three major options. You have the peace arm of it. You have the justice arm of it. It could be restorative justice or criminal justice. And then you have the reconciliation arm of it. During the period of reconciliation, that is when you come up with things like GDR. You see what La Republic did. They did not even do a selling after the market. They set up a situation where they bring in our boys, put them in there, deceive them, so that they can use them to target where the combatants are staying. And whether we like it or not, they have somehow have a good number of successes. Because a good number of these combatants, chicken-hearted, they gave in, they went into that stuff they call GDR. It didn't work. And the vast majority of those in GDR who are no longer there, some are in Dubai, they have gone to the Middle East to clean physiques and do other things to look for food. But I keep advising our people, if you are tired of fighting, the advice I will give to you as a combatant, leave the homeland. Don't go to DDR. When you go to DDR, you make yourself a potential enemy to the combatants. And what happens to you and your family, you are going to be held responsible. When you go out, it's better. There, one we understand that maybe you are tired from fighting. Rather than joining DDR. Because I'm saying this and I'm saying it in the open. I'm not asking anybody to attack anybody's family. I've never done that. But I'm saying any combatant who is tired and you decide to join the DDR, please put it in mind. You have become La République du Cameroun. If you take those people, you wear their uniform and come into where our combatants are hiding. When I talk our combatants, I'm not talking of Sokadef alone. I'm talking of every combatant on the ground. You bring them into that land. They kill a combatant. They wound a combatant. They are able to see where our cache of weapons are to defend ourselves, because that is what we've been doing. That's why we've not gone to Douala and other areas. Let me tell you that you and your family will be held responsible. Any mom, any dad, any uncle, whether you are out here in the West or you are back home, who will advise any of the junior brother or sister who is a combatant that abandon the fight and go and suffer in Boya, where they will use you to come and kill your own people. Know that you are merely turning yourself and your family as enemies of the people. Please don't do that. If you think you love your junior brother or cousin so much, and you think they are tired of fighting, you have money, take them out of the land. Send them anywhere you want to send them. I don't have a problem whether they're going to Dubai or where. That is far better than to go in and join the DDR to turn against our people. Now, let me not digress. I just brought in that so that I don't forget about it. So as I was saying, ICO wants to prop up an individual. They got Capo to prop him up. What is the intention of propping up Capo? I asked ICO. When you thought you were ready to get involved to bring in a negotiated settlement, let me put it that way, why didn't you come back to me? Why did you decide to go to Capo? The answer was simple. Where we are now talking to you, I said, no, you haven't. That's not an answer. You are talking to me now. It's not an answer. You went to Capo. Let me even put it this way. If you go to Capo with good intentions and Capo brings this to us, we will be grateful. There's no problem. We don't care whether it comes from Capo or from whosoever. All what we want is to save our people, save our homeland. Make sure there is an opportunity for generations and generations of children yet unborn, especially the young girls who have lost everything in life. Those who can go back to school or have a means of bettering their lives. That is what we want. The purpose of this war was not to kill everybody, to become a King Kong or whatsoever. The purpose was to protect our humanity. And protecting our humanity means we create an avenue where kids can go back to school without any fear or favor. And then our school system should not be one in which it becomes politically controlled, where the kids could not compete with other children in different parts of the world. No, our judicial system should be as independent as possible, where no one is above the law. So these are the reasons why we find ourselves where we are. It was not like, oh, it was just because these guys were killing us. Yes, we know what they have done to us. But it is far more than that. It is our humanity that is important. Protecting that humanity is the main reason why I thought about the SCY, thought about Sokadev, thought about APLM, and I'm still talking about this struggle up to date. It was not to go and just go out killing people. We only started defending ourselves when we realized that it's the only way that we can make the world to listen to us. It's the only way. So as I was saying, the ICO got their man. The Russians will say they got a useful idiot. People will say, they came to me and said, oh no, don't talk to Capo, don't work with Capo. I say, no, I don't operate like that. Capo is a human being. Everybody, people make mistakes. However, he might not even know what is going on. He might be feeling so happy that a British organization have reached out to him, because that is the problem in this struggle. Especially for the young men who are in this struggle in particular. Most of them are easily hoodwinked. You can easily deceive them. Oh, because a British organization has reached out to him, he now thinks that, oh, I've also arrived. Now I am an expert in this thing. I know exactly what to do. I will run with it and the rest. I said, no. You see, when you are a hunter, you go to the farm and you kill a python. The moment that python is dead, you come back to the community. You call people to go with you to that farm or where your trap is. If the python is not dead, you kill the python, you bring it to the community, at times to the village square or to the chief's palace. This is what I know. And some of you will will agree with me. You bring it there. This is a python. You are the hunter. They will operate it, remove the bile, because they know how dangerous the bile is. They will send 2 to 3 people to go and bury it or throw it into a pit toilet. Then they will share that python in front of everybody. There is a particular part they will give to the hunter in particular. Then everybody in the community will eat. I told Capo that even if you go to ICO or ICO comes to you and they bring something that is good, the moment you want the rest of us to become part of it, it is no longer owned by you or your entity, whether you call it PRAP or what. It is now the people's issue. Allow the people to be deeply involved, to know what is happening, to participate fully in it from start to the end of it. You can no longer bring them and want to control everything that runs there, especially if the control you are doing is technically selling our people and the struggle. I told Capo this in black and white, and I'm still standing to it, that this is exactly what I said. You have to decide. If you think it is a PRAP issue, then PRAP should go ahead. Organize what they want to organize and send out invitations. Those who want to participate will participate. But if you think you want every other person to be involved, especially the consultative committee, then you must lay off your hands of it. Just be part of the organizing team with every other person and work together. This information is the same thing I discussed with ICO. I am the one who encouraged the consultative committee to talk to ICO. I told them we will not refuse talking to anyone, even the one that we are suspicious of. We never can tell what good can come out. This is exactly what I said. We will talk to them no matter the situation. I said go talk to them. I had several meetings with the ICO. In fact, I was not even coming into it with the ICO as a leader. The ICO finally agreed that I will come as a facilitator. That is, I will be on the side of the ICO. And my role is simple. I wanted to safeguard the necessities for negotiation. I told the ICO in black and white, you cannot call that document a peace document. If so, we will not allow it to go anywhere. I brought in that the ICO agreed with me that let me bring the name that I want that I should bring to change the name on the document. But it is not the name changing that is most important. It is the whole document, the setup of the document, what we want to achieve as a people that matters. So you change the name. So it is not like you take export and put into a different bottle and then you serve the people. No, I did not only want that we change the name so that we don't give a wrong impression to our people and to the international community or to La République du Cameroon, but we change the whole framework of what was in it. And I am saying this as an expert. This is my field. This is my field. And I'm proud of that. Even if there are people among us who undermine me, who belittle me, who think I am not good enough for them, this is my field. They can't take that away from me. What I know is what I will die with it. Nobody will take it away. I'm not jealous of anybody. And if anyone is jealous that maybe I am an expert in this issue and I'm good in it, that is the person's own cup of tea. It doesn't mean anything to me. I came into this struggle knowing that this is a risky thing. It's a matter of life and death. And I'm prepared to pay the price, however it comes. I did not come into it that I will sit back, hide somewhere, and allow other people's children to sacrifice everything for me to come in and become the prime minister, the president, or whatsoever. No, that has never been my goal. Whether you believe me or not, that is exactly what it is. As long as my conscience is clear, I am clear. This is how we got the ICO. So at the end of the day, we had a meeting and then there were discussions that were taking place within a forum called Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia Leadership Forum, created by the consultative committee. And I discovered that in that forum, there were certain arguments that were going on between Dr. Florentine and Pastor Chris Anon. And I didn't like it. I didn't participate in it. I came in and I called Florentine behind. And I spoke to him. And I told Florentine, you see, in this struggle, I am not a politician. I've told you people this. You know me, at least to an extent. If we do not take the issue of defending homeland serious, every other thing we are doing is a waste of time. That is what I said. I said within a very short period of time, this entire struggle will fizzle out. And every other individual will disappear. Nobody will be talking about it again. Nobody. People will start posting different things on their Facebook pages and the rest. And I went further to tell Florentine that, listen, I have a problem with the ICO. I explained to him and I said, my biggest problem was that in every meeting we had, Mr. James Holmes was so financially concerned. Everything to him was money. Oh, we cannot just spend our money to bring people to Canada when they have not agreed on this. We cannot spend our money on this. We cannot do this on this. Everything was on money. And I said, hey, hold on. I've been in one of my class at Norwich University. Norwich University is the oldest private military academy in the United States. I said, this is a red signal. What exactly is this man saying? I told the consultative team that I'm concerned with the way Mr. James Holmes is so concerned about financial expenses. Let me tell you something. When you get into the business of conflict resolution, when you create an organization that has to do with issues of resolving conflicts, especially bloody conflicts around the world, be prepared that you are going to spend money and spend and spend and spend if you actually truly want to commit in resolving that conflict. Anytime you are concerned about the money you want to spend, and it is very clear that you are also involved in financial issues, you will never solve that issue. You are now more of a businessman than someone involved in conflict resolution. And that is what I discovered from Mr. James. I don't blame him. He's a businessman. Businessmen have nothing to do with resolving conflicts around the world, unless when they want to take advantage of that conflict for their own business partners' benefit. Let me give you an example. Before we went to Switzerland, the Humanitarian Dialogue Center, HD, which is renowned for resolving a lot of conflicts around the world, they have a track record, paid flights ticket for a good number of us. And then lies started flying. Part of that lies that were flying came from John Akuru and others, since Akuru knew he cannot fly. Akuru was spreading lies, Yerima was spreading lies. There were a lot of lies that were going on at that time. And also part of that lies came from Ag of Sea. By the time I flew to Geneva, Cometa was preparing to come. Bo Heber was supposed to be there. Unfortunately, that week, Bo lost the sister back home in the northern region. So he couldn't fly. But people were bought tickets. So when I arrived Geneva, do you know what happened? I was in a restaurant eating. That is when these people turned down the flights that they cannot come to Geneva, because the whole news was that Mr. Bia was there. The moment they arrived Geneva, we will all be bundled, put in a plane, and shipped to La République du Cameroon. These are adults. Adults who do not understand how the Western world works. This is not Nigeria. Let me even put it that even if Switzerland had a warrant of arrest for me, Switzerland is not going to take me and send me to Cameroon. No, they won't do that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. These are things nobody had the time to think about. They were all panicking. They were scared that they could fall into the same situation like Brother Tassang and the others. But they were taking this decision while I was already in Geneva, which means if actually there was a plane to capture somebody and carry to La République, they would have taken me to La République, if truly. So why am I bringing this? I'm saying that HD spent all that money that they never recovered. They never complained. All that money went like that. Every amount of money for flight ticket and the rest was lost. At no one time did HD complain and said, oh, we spend money, these people do not come, will no longer be involved. No, that is one of the reasons that gave me encouragement to say, no, these people are very serious in what they want to achieve. They were serious. They still came back, after I finished, they still came back to Washington, D.C., trying to meet with us to let us know exactly what we want to achieve. HD did not use Zoom. They did not use Zoom. They came to GC more than 4 times and met with me. I remember at one time I told Sako, come, let's go for a meeting so that we meet these people and talk to them and question them. Sako was scared. He said, no, Mola, go, I trust you. Any decision you take, you bring it, is binding, is final. I will listen to it. This is exactly what happened. Most of them were scared. If you want to resolve conflict, you must move. This is what I told ICO. You cannot be holding meetings on Zoom. Why? Because you don't want to spend money. And I understand why. Because James Holmes is a businessman. Business people don't spend their money. However, business people have nothing to do in the business of resolving conflicts. This is where my issue is. If you're a businessman, stay with your business. You cannot take your business, come into the field of trying to resolve conflicts with one goal, to deceive us to get into something so that the doors can be opened in the name of, oh, we've gotten peace. without resolving the conflict. And then your business partners can come in and start mining whatever business they want to do back in our territory. You can't do that. That will not be tolerated. It will not. And that is why I'm saying these things here in the open. It will not be tolerated. We don't refuse them from doing business. But the Southern Cameroons is not for sale. Ambazonia is not for sale. Not for ICO, not for any NGO out there that might be pretending that they are in the business of resolving conflict, while actually they want to use that conflict for the furtherance of their pockets. It is their duty as a capitalist entity to look for resources, to look for money on their own. Why? Why? I ask them, why? You people are doing all of this. And no matter how you try to explain it, Capo will not understand. And I get it. Capo is excited that he just created an organization. And then another group has come in, have seen him to be, in quote, important, because that is our problem in this struggle. We all want to feel importance rather than doing the important thing. He's not looking at the struggle. He's looking at the issue that he has been reached out by this NGO, not knowing that they are using him as a useful idiot to achieve their economic goals, their business plans. They come in and they're trying to do this. And then you try to explain it. And instead of them to sit behind to find a way, they go out and started calling my name. Oh, Dr. Akwanga said this. Dr. Akwanga said this. No, I told Florentine Fonche, if we could work with ICO and whatever they want to put into this thing, we use it for the boys on the ground, is better. I have no apology for that. And let me make it clear to you people. The combatants are my priority number one. I'm not interested in all of this nonsense people are doing. I only go along with it so that people should not say I'm a spoiler. That is it. Every day I make it very clear. If we do not hold the ground, we don't respect these fighters on the ground, we do not teach them how to behave, respecting international humanitarian law, so that our struggle and the rest of us will be respected, will be seen from a different perspective. It is not fear of going to the ICC. No. It is fear that we might lose the favor that we need to have from certain parties within the international community. If we allow these boys on the ground to act in a way that is contrary to international humanitarian law and international human rights law. When I say this, people don't get it. They think I'm stupid. Some say doctor is too soft. I wonder how many of you can be as extreme as I am. I am not soft. I'm being smart. I've asked for wisdom. Our forefathers have given it to me. God have bestowed me with wisdom on how I handle these things. I don't let my emotions just run wild, because the emotions alone will not yield anything for our people. Let me be frank. It will yield nothing. We've thrown a lot of emotions, tantrum and the rest. Our sisters and brothers on Facebook, now all of them have disappeared when their emotions became dry. Because they have nothing to offer. They had no ideology they were leaning on. They were leaning only on anger. Simple. Anger against La République is not going to give us freedom. No, that is not enough. Anger is good, but it is not sufficient. So this is the issue with the ICO. It is not like Dr. Florentine came and said, oh, how can Pratt bring up something and the CC, the consultative committee, wants to take control of it? I said, no. It has never happened that way. I, Ebenezer, I am the one who encouraged the consultative committee that you must be on board. Until the ICO refused to listen and continue to take us down this rabbit hole, then we will back out. I said, you must be involved. You can't back out. We reached out to other parties and talked to them, informed them of what the ICO was doing. So this is my concern. The ICO is having about 3 big Western companies that are working in Cameroon. This is an organization that is involved, who says they are involved in trying to resolve conflict. They say they are involved in the conflict in Cyprus. Fine. I am happy with that. That is good. But this is our conflict. This is something I have seen people die in front of me. This is a conflict which has led to me being tortured, led to me being fed with human feces and urine, being sexually molested. This is a conflict that has put me in a situation where I went through mock execution for almost 2 years. And there is no way I'm going to fold my arms because this is a UK-based organization and I allow them to come in to use us for their economic benefits. It will not work. It will never work. It will never. This is not how conflicts are resolved. And I'm saying this. Anyone who gets this should pass it to James. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because of the way they have allowed these things to go. And I told them in a meeting, you cannot do things this way. This is how you have to go. You don't go down this road, it will fail. It will fail. I told them that. It will fail. It is the same type of warning I gave to CDN. I told CDN, don't organize that last conference you want or whatever you want to hold in Canada. If you do it, CDN will cease from existing. You will have problems. CDN thought they have money. It's not coming from my pocket. They can bring who they want to bring and go to Canada. What happened? They went to Canada. Even those who were running around, everything they shout CDN, everything they shout CDN. Yes, there were individuals in CDN whose heart is actually in this struggle. Let me be frank. Who mean good as individuals, but as a network, CDN was found wanting. Now it has disappeared. Now those individuals have left. They have created another thing they call themselves, whether it's triumvirate or triple what. They are no longer talking. They are no longer talking. Because they thought they have seen it all. And typically in our struggle, when people go and they discover the truth, they don't come back and tell the people. They just metamorphose into something new and start something else. So this is what I'm saying. The ICO should listen and listen carefully. They will have nothing to do with this struggle. It is me who is talking. I don't care how much money they have. I don't care how prepared they think they are. They will have nothing to do with this struggle. They place themselves in this position and they will back off. If they think they can work with Capo and others, let them go ahead, let me see. I'm not having water in my mouth. I don't have money. I have bleeded in this thing. It's not prison we are scared. It's not death. It is the suffering of our people. And that is why anyone who comes and understands our suffering will listen to you, because you might say something that is good. How can you tell us that we should prepare a document? A document to convince the state party to come and make peace with us. Where has that ever happened? I told the ICO, this is not how these things are done. And they asked me a question. Now, Dr. Akwanga, you are saying this. Then what do you think will convince the state to come to the table? And I told James, that should not be your problem. That should be our problem. It is not the problem of your organization. As I'm sitting here, I know that the only thing that can bring the state of La République du Cameroon on the negotiating table, it is the right to self-defense on the ground. When this continues and it is done in the right manner, then you can hear the state reaching out to say, we will find a way to solve this problem. That is it. Without that, we can write the best books on earth. We can even draft the best negotiation agendas. They will not take us anywhere. No way. It's not going anywhere. Especially when you think you are in a position of weakness. Who wants to talk to you? Or they think you are on a free fall. Who is interested in negotiating with you? Who? Unless you want to sell yourself. Because that is my concern that I have. How can people say that, oh, Dr. Akwanga said they should even take some of the money to put into the fighters? Is it a bad thing? Did Dr. Akwanga say they should take that money and give it to him? When they were telling you people, did they tell you people that I said we should collect money from ICO and we share it? Did they tell you that? That's what I said? No. You yourself went out there and realized this is where Dr. Akwanga stands. I stand on the right to defend our homeland. And I think whatever we do, that is priority number one. It is defense that will make diplomacy works. It is defense that will open the doors for any individual who might take sympathy for us to try to support us. It is defense that will awaken La République du Cameroon. Our pain and their own pain will make their moms, their dads to realize they have lost a lot of sons and daughters in our land. And it's time to find a way to resolve the conflict. Without that, forget about it. The worst of all, where do we fight? We fight in a confined area. That is our territory. We are not even fighting in their area where it is affecting them directly. Then you are telling us that we should go and make peace. You are not looking at justice. You are not looking at reconciliation. You are not looking at all the aspects that comes with resolving a conflict. Oh no. This is not how it's going to be done. It cannot be done this way. It has never been done this way. And not now. Anyone can go to YouTube and say any lies they want to say. Anyone can say whatever rubbish they want to say. Like as I said, I've never spoken to JJ Asongu. I doubt and surprised that he goes online, he's talking about me, that I was making long statement where I spoke with him where? Me, Dr. Akwanga. Unless the ICO gave him a misrepresentation of what I said. I didn't record the ICO because I thought I could trust them to work with them. Otherwise, I would have played it here for you people to see. I did not do that. I told them, everything I'm saying is exactly the way I told them. I called Capo, I told Capo, I want this thing to work. Work with Chaps and Dr. Fontaine and the entire team of the consultative committee. Remember, we are all involved in it. I am there and all the others who are involved in it. Work with them. Let us see what good can come out of this. But the problem we have is that either Capo and individuals working with him became resistant because they think it is their thing. That's the mentality. Now, our team will don't bring a one can take them for we. Just begin to think of that type of mentality. Our homeland is no longer important. The suffering of our people is no longer important. Individual forums or association groups are thinking that they should win. They should win rather than all of us winning. And this is why we find ourselves where people go online and say anything they want to say. So that they will push us when we come and speak. They say, oh, this one have said this one have said this. No. PRAP can negotiate with anybody, can enter into contact with any group whatsoever. But however, they should understand one thing. There is a difference between one Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. There's a difference between one Cameroon and Ambazonia. People have their individual reasons why they want to do whatever they want to do. I will never say that they have collected money from La République because I have no evidence. But I will say that most often, these individuals are useful idiots. Thanks to the Russians, I can use that word, those words as often as possible. Because I have no evidence that somebody has collected money. There are times you allow yourself to be carried away, to be used for not just cause. This is exactly what has been going on. It is not like we sat and said, oh no, we don't want a meeting. We don't want anything with ICO. No. We did everything that was possible. ICO continued to resist. ICO invited me to come to New York. They were in New York on the issue of Cyprus, which they are involved in. But it didn't take long before Capo and his team started giving impression that they were in New York because of the issue of Ambazonia. And I've said it, and I said it time and again. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to lie to yourself. ICO invited me to come to New York. I couldn't go to New York, one, because I didn't have time. Two, I told ICO to come over. That the time they were asking me to come to New York, they can take the same train they wanted me to take a train. They said they'll pay me the train ticket. Come to DC, let's meet and talk. They didn't show up. They didn't. And then they went back to the UK. And when they went back to the UK, things started going left and right. They said, oh, they still want to talk with me and the rest. But I realized there was no need talking because nothing was going. James Holmes have a particular thing he wants to achieve. Not for us, because he refused to listen to us. You cannot listen to one person, one organization, while you are trying to bring the rest of us, and then you confirm that, no, everything is final. No, unless you have a nefarious motive. I did everything. He refused to listen. He refused. It wasn't like we did not want to work. You hear somebody will say, oh, we are fighting for unity. We want to bring... What type of unity are you talking about? What type of unity? What is unity? Define it. What exactly is unity? The same people who will tell you that they are involved in humanitarian stuff alone. You are involved in humanitarian stuff because there are young men and women who are dying on the ground to free homeland. This reminds me of what I said to the protection officer of the UNHCR while I was in Lagos, before the US government brought me here with 27 persons of my team. I said, the greatest prayer I would have ever wished is that there should be no more wars in the world and all natural disasters should cease, so that the UNHCR should cease from existing. She laughed. She laughed. I said, because without this crisis, this constant war and the rest, there will be no UNHCR. While it is doing good work somewhere, others are profiting from it. They are happy that more conflicts are coming up, they are profiting from it. Just like somebody who makes caskets, coffins, and comes and goes to church and pray to God. That is angry, that business is not working. When you are making caskets, you are angry that business is not working. What business are you talking about? Are you not angry that more people are not dying so that you can say your coffins? That is what it means by business is not working. So it's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. You can't come in. We have worked with different organizations. There is NOREF, there is HD, there is the team in Southeast Asia. There are other organizations that have shown up. I've never seen this system in my entire world. In fact, it is novel. It has never existed. That an organization which is tied to a bank, an organization tied to a financial institution, an organization will come in that they want to resolve conflict on the basis of we want to bring peace. That you will be the one to set up what will entice the other side to come to the table. No. A real conflict resolution organization, an organization involved in negotiation, will do two things. Will take the non-state actors, prepare us for negotiation, tell us the things that might happen, our expectations, and things that might not happen, even with our expectations. Go to the state party and do the same thing. And then find a way for both sides to come to the table. You don't come to us and you're trying to convince us to have a buy-in into something that will not achieve anything for us. It is just like what La Republic is trying to do. They are not interested in resolving the conflict. They are interested in creating what we call a negative temporal peace, which is exactly what was existing before 1997. And what was existing again before 2017. No one can sit here and tell me that there is peace in Cameroon as a whole, La République du Cameroon. There's no peace. It is fear. Fear has engulfed the entire land. There is no peace even before this particular situation. The people live in permanent fear. You get me? There is no peace. So we have all of these issues that we are facing. But we can't move like this. We can't. We can't move this way. We can't. We need to sit and ask ourselves, yeah, mistakes have been made. But we cannot continuously allow ourselves to continue to do the same mistakes time and time again. It's not okay. We should not take advantage because maybe we're in the US, we're in Canada, we're in the UK, and nothing can happen to us. Because we think we have laws in this land that will protect us. We can take our phones, when we take off from where we are walking, we take our phones, go out, go to YouTube, or go somewhere and spill out any rubbish that we want to spill out. And of course, the people are tired. People just want news. They will come, they will listen, they will be deceived. We can't go down this road. It has to stop. The worst of all is allowing ourselves to be used. To be used. The moment we have opportunities, we don't capitalize on them. We start fighting ourselves. When we create this mentality, this is the same reason why we had a lot of issues. And people thought that, oh, Agosi did not want freedom, independence. No. It is this mentality of, when you come in and you think that if there is something that does not come from you, and when it comes from you, you must control it. Yet you want everybody to become part of it. Why you control it? It is why we find ourselves where we are. If we did not find a way to quash that, Canada wouldn't have even succeeded to the extent that we had. I was in Switzerland. I never said because I came to Switzerland first, so I've become the senior prophet of those who came there. It was a buy-in for everybody. People have to contribute their ideas, come in with their own opinions, and everybody was involved in it 100%. That is how you do it. So you can't come in, you bring in something, you want to bring us in, and you want us to follow you. When you are actually taking us to the wrong path, and we tell you that this thing you have brought like this might yield something positive, but the path you are taking is wrong, and you keep telling us no. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Take your stuff, run with it, and leave us alone, and leave our homeland alone. Because it will not work. It will not. It's not going to work. Even La République du Cameroon know who are the main principal actors. So if you take any individual that you want to work with or organization that was created 2 days ago or this evening, you are doing so for your own risk and your own interest. It has nothing to do with us. You can work with whoever you want to work with. But we are saying we are not for sale. It will not work. You must do the right thing. If you want us to be involved, it must be our process. We must sit down with you and work it out. We must have a say. Don't tell us that because you are going to put in money, $20,000, so you want to hoodwink us and control it, or even $30,000. That is nothing. There's no amount of dollars that you can put that is important than the death of Simba Andrew Ngong, or Machine, or Leonard, aka Transporter. There is no amount of money you will put that will bring back General Kata and all the other young brave men and women who have died in our land. The ones that you people, through your machination, has helped in their death. It will not bring back Mami happy. The villages that has been raised down. No amount of money. That is why I said any individual or organization that comes in and everything, oh, our money, we cannot put our money into this. When this doesn't go this way, we cannot do this. No. Run very far from that organization. They're not interested in resolving the conflict. They want to say, because I put in the money, I call the shots. That is business. Southern Cameroon is not for business. We are not selling our land and our people. No, we are not. It was done before. We are not prepared to do it again. We're looking for partnership. If you come in and want to help bring peace, it will raise the image of your organization. People will never forget that you worked diligently and suffered so hard, despite the difficulties from both sides, to make sure those people can achieve a permanent positive peace, which will include true reconciliation. And equally, those who have committed crimes against humanity, genocide, ethnocide, war crimes, will be held accountable for it. That is how it works. That is how it works. It is not all about money. That is not how it's going to work. It's not all about money. So you can't come in and think that you throw in money and then you are trying to do the wrong thing and then we'll say, oh yes, this is the right way, let us go, let's follow it. You go to Geneva. You can go to Geneva and present whatever you want to present. As they say, oh, Dr. Asongu should go to Geneva, or he has gone there. Go and do a representation, and some people are celebrated. It doesn't change anything, please. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't. It is like me meeting with the prime minister or the vice prime minister of a kingdom in Southern Africa. It is like me meeting with a former president in Southern Africa. It hasn't changed much. I was able to pass that message. It hasn't changed much. How could you go to the UN and you are telling them, you are claiming and pretending that you are on our side, on the side of the non-state actors, and then you are the one announcing that the state party is ready to talk? Eh? The state party is ready to talk. La République du Cameroon is ready to talk. La République. God. We got a problem. We are sick. It is not us who have proven time and time again that we are prepared to talk. You are talking about La Republic. Ready to talk. Ready. When Gongo asked for unilateral ceasefire, he thought it would not happen. I shocked him by delivering it. When I turned and asked them to do their own, they failed. It is in record. The UN is aware. Every other entity we have worked with are aware of what La Republic did. That is how we build that record against them. Against the possibility of a negotiated settlement. So they should not think we forget those things. We have all the exchanges, the letters, the communications. And then you go and you are announcing that no, they are prepared to talk. It is us who don't want to resolve the conflict. Eh? Is that how it is? So what is wrong with us? You see what I said? Useful idiots. They can even come and take one of these useful idiots and say, come and address the Security Council. The person will not think about our struggle. The person will think that they have arrived. Hey, I'm going to talk in front of the Security Council. I'm the biggest person now in town. That is how they use you and dump you. You serve no purpose. You destroy yourself and your image forever. It's not going to work. You are not going to tell the young men and women on the ground to lay down their arms when what they are fighting for have not been achieved. I've told many of our people, we are at the crossroads. The situation, the struggle is now is worse than when we were in total physical, hot, constant war every day. Because now you might think that, oh, a modicum of calmness have arrived in certain areas. You carry your late or a relative that you want to go and bury. And then by the time you reach the road, bullets are flying from both sides. You could be caught in that crossfire. Because you have a false notion of calmness. What I call false peace. It is that false peace that ICO has been trying to sell to us. I'm deeply disappointed. False peace. We have to be careful. We have to be very, very careful. You make us come out and say the things we want to say, and we'll put it every day. When you look behind me, you will see something written by Marcus Garvey. Black man, you are on your own. I mean, this Steve Biko. And then Marcus Garvey is right here. We must give up the silly idea of folding our hands and waiting on God to do everything for us. If God had intended for that, then he would not have given us a mind. Whatever you want in life, you must make up your mind to do it for yourself. Marcus Garvey. There are many of you who are well vested, who can do so much for this struggle. But you allow yourself to be carried away. Either one, you think you are insignificant, or you've decided to play insignificant role, or at times dubious roles of nuisance into the struggle. It means you are wasting your time here on earth. The contribution you have to give, you are wasting it. That is why we are where we are. We find ourselves in this situation where individuals have taken, they have escaped, they have run, they are hiding in different places. We used to say that run 990. People don't want to come out to talk again. They are acting like the struggle is over. Here, all what we see now is burn house, baby shower, this celebration, that celebration. It's no longer about the struggle. Individuals don't even, they fail to look at themselves and say, what role have I played in letting things reach this level and be the way they are? They are looking for scapegoats. Na Dr. Akwanga, na Dr. Ayaba, na Saku, na Kometa, na Bo Herbert, no, na Chris Ano. Oh no, maybe na Marietta, maybe na this. This is how we are operating. Yes, individuals amongst us have done some crazy stuff. Some even continue to do it. But that is not justification. It's not justification. For you to fold your arms and say this is a matter of life and death. It is survival of our people. What will you contribute before you leave this world? Survivor. of our people. It is not to kill people. It is for us to protect our own people, to show them love. Because I said even to the fighters, every time you show love to these people, there will be a last line of defense. We are here rushing behind. We are talking about, oh, these people have made sure that ICO did not organize conference. They are the ones who want to do this or they want to do that. No. Dr. Akwanga, I owe no apology. If ICO bring in the resources, and I told ICO in black and white, if you want this conference to succeed, we must have a component of the combatants involved in it. I told them. I discussed that with Kapo. Everyone can bear me witness because that is where I belong. I know without that, there will be no struggle. Everyone who is running their mouth will not talk. And we should give that credit to these combatants. And I'm still saying the same thing. Every time I'm involved in any of these things, I'm always trying to see what good can we do for the fighters on the ground. I don't care where they belong. I don't care what name they call themselves. What good can we do to strengthen them? And to also strengthen them not only with the resources they need, but the mental resources for them to know how to carry themselves. To know that for their own individual protection, they should show absolute love to the communities they are operating under. That is the first line of protection. It is not the things we might buy to give to them. To teach them that respecting international humanitarian law during warfare does not make you weak. It does not make you weak. It makes you powerful and courageous. It makes you smart. It means you are better than the other side. Because the only thing we need to prove is to prove to our people that with us and them, it will be far better than with the other people. But if we don't do that, then why are we complaining that? How are we going to convince our people that what we are trying to achieve for ourselves and for them will be better than the other people? When we will allow ourselves to go around deceiving them and doing things which will be worse than what the other people have done to them or equal to what those people have done to them. What? What will be the difference? You think that is weakness? You think it is because you think that Dr. Akwanga has become weak? You don't know strength. Strength is not big talk. Strength is not going out and making your chest this way. Strength is being smart and being wise and being tactful to know how to act at what time, at what place. That is what you do. And this is what we have failed to lecture and to teach most of our fighters on the ground. I don't want to go back and talk of the things I said we should not do, and we did them. And those of us who go to church, when we make mistakes, what do? We come out, we put our knees on the ground and pray for forgiveness. The vast majority of you people who created county by county, just because you want to freeze finances from other people in the struggle, you think that self-defense is rich, you can make money out of it, or you want to run your own army. The people who created most of this chaos, how many times have you on your own come online and apologize to the people that you got it wrong? So when you don't do that, how do you think the people will forgive you or it is going to work? Don't you know that each one of us is two, our physical and our spiritual? When you fail to fit the spiritual, what are you expecting? How do you think things will work? At the age I am, any one of us can pass away at any time. The more we are getting older, it means we are moving closer to our end time. Naturally. Forget about health or anything. We are moving closer to our end time naturally. That is one thing we must know. So each of us will have our time. It will come and we will go. So how do we want to go is the question. What legacy do you want to leave? I know there will be people who say, oh, Dr. Akwanga, that guy, he likes talk. He thinks that he knows more. Then others will say, you people are just jealous. Dr. Akwanga knew what he was saying. Everything he said has come to pass. Why are you people jealous? Don't you know that? Why you guys will be there debating at that time and arguing? And failing to say, oh, if we listen to him or we did not listen to him. Me, I would have gone home. I will not be feeling pain. Maybe my spirit will stand somewhere and be watching you people and smiling. I say, look at them. Even though I've gone, they will still not learn their lesson. That is how it's going to happen. That is how the world is. You guys will be there talking. Others who really want to come and see. Now, true to say, don't die. Who go see that man, that mouth there. No be small thing. There will be others who will be coming. They want to see how Dr. Akwanga has been dressed, maybe put on the coffin, in the coffin, or maybe to know what is going. Different things will be going on. And the good thing is, why I'm still alive, in many ways, I'm seeing some of these things happening. I'm seeing some of these things happening. Muvanga, you are asking me, or Mavanga, that what is the way forward? I came here and I said it very clearly that people who wants to free our homeland should line up behind me. I was not saying that I'm taking over the struggle from your preferred or loved or beloved individuals or authorities or leaders. I say, if you want to finish the struggle, line up behind me. Let's finish it. So when you ask me, what is the way forward? Do you think I can sit here and start vouching the way I think that if they line up behind me, we'll be able to prosecute this struggle and achieve it and bring it back to a situation better than the way it was even? Not just for our own good, for our people, but to compel the state to come to the table and for La Republic to respect us and the rest of the world? No, I can't do that. I can't. It is what I told ICO. It's the same thing I'm saying here. In this country, the United States, if you are serious, you want to talk with me, don't call me on the phone. Come sit down with me. Fly from wherever you are. Let us put our heads together and free that homeland. Because while we are here quarreling and arguing every day, we might free that homeland. Even people who are telling us that they are federalists, it might be their sons, their grandsons and daughters who will enjoy it. And that one, there is nothing we can do. We're not saying that one will free that land. Do you know there are people in South Africa who were scared of the anti-apartheid struggle, who wanted to play safe? But there are a good number who have benefited from it. Either they themselves or their bloodline. That is how the world works. So when you get into these things to sacrifice, don't sacrifice that you must benefit. Otherwise, you are wasting your time. Do it and say, I'm doing it for posterity to benefit. But I will keep going. That is the way forward. The way forward is for us to stop this chaos, to condemn it when we see it. If you belong to APLN, you think something is not going on well, you bring it to the leadership, they don't hear, condemn it. Don't go out and create your own group, which serves no purpose. And I've also made this very clear, as I said to ACT, the Ambazonia coalition team, and I said to the consultative committee, you must stop this issue of taking individuals who just go and create groups and you bring them to come and join. This is why there is a lot of chaos in this struggle and split. Because every time you do that, you are encouraging an individual that if I'm angry in APLN, instead of me going to join AGOFC or be part of one of the IGs, let me put it like that, I'm just saying, or any other group that is existing, I must go and create my own. Is that not madness? And then when they create it, you make sure that when you set up something to show that, oh, it's a big tent to have brought everybody, you invite them to come in. As you are inviting them in, you are also encouraging other people to go and create other entities. That is why you have all of this chaos. Everybody is a leader. Some say they are presidents of presidents. I've never heard those type of words before, king of kings. That is the issue. No one is bold enough to talk to somebody on the face. They're not bold. We just want to make sure that, oh, I don't want to be insulted online. So I don't want somebody to call my name. Let me bring everybody and put. Look at me here. Do you know the insults that some of you people have insulted me? Has it changed anything? You say I have big head. It has not removed anything. My head is still big. Oh, Dr. Akwanga talks too much. I'm still talking. Have you stopped me? You have not stopped me. I am still who I am. So if you know that no amount of insult, if you speak the truth to try to fix the struggle is good. To speak the truth is not to insult people. So when I use the word useful idiot, it's a terminology to describe people that for reasons of fame, not money, because we have this attitude that people do certain things in this struggle because they've collected money from La Republic. No. I can assure you that a vast majority have not collected any money, if not all. It is fame, empty fame. People just want titles. And at times, I used to blame them. Then I ask myself, our culture is responsible for this. See the way we bring up this thing of chieftaincy and the rest. And yet, we are complaining about dictatorship. We don't want pobia. Yet, we want a king, a fawn. A fawn who can point at that girl. I want to marry that man's daughter. Either the man escape from the village and make sure the children never go to the village with himself until that fawn dies. or the daughter becomes a slave to the phone. Are we not doing that? True or false? Is that not dictatorship? That is the issue we are facing. We will say it's culture. Then when we take it, we remove that, our culture, into the realms of a republic, where one man becomes a king without taking the title of king. Because look at Biya. Biya is not different from Emperor Jean Bende Bokassa. But he has not declared Cameroon an empire. Neither has he said he's an emperor. But what makes him different from an emperor? Or a self-proclaimed king? What makes it different? Nothing. He's still the same thing. He's still the same thing. So this is the issue we have. Some of us, when we fight, people think that, oh, we are fighting because we want to come and become ministers in Cameroon and the rest. This is the type of myopic thinking that people have. So our brothers and sisters who are in the system, which is killing us, killing their own relatives and the rest, they are looking at the position they think they will lose. If La République negotiate, and you find a crop of all these PhDs, doctor this, doctor that, and all the rest, that they will come in now and they will be the new ones in town. No. That is a very wrong way of looking at things. Because when you ever look at things like that, you are trying to protect yourself than looking at the general protection of everybody. How many of you went to church today? Do you think Jesus Christ, for those of you who are believers, could not have protected himself from not dying? Why did he not say, no, I did not commit any sin, I will not die for the sin of others? Why did he say he will give his life for others? Many of you are Christians. Some of you here come, you posting for, oh, my prophet is this, my this. You talk about God every day, but I don't know which God you are talking about. You read the Bible upside down. Your interpretation is totally different. You select. You prefer this. Or if there's a dictator here, you want that dictator. But you don't want a dictator in your own area. Eh? You want this one to be a dictator. Oh, he's your God. He is this. But this one, you don't want it. No. It doesn't work that way. If you think that Mr. Biya is a dictator and cannot be there, you cannot turn around and support another person in another country who is a dictator. You can't do that. It doesn't make sense. Because there are people also in that country who are thinking that their own dictator should not be there. That is how it is supposed to work. So you make prayers, you say God is not hearing our prayers. It is because of all of this. Finally, my people, PrAP, or whatever they call themselves, can run anything they want to run. But anytime they think they have gone somewhere and caught an animal and they bring it into the house, it becomes the people's animal, not their own. If it is their own, they should share it. The people might not even know they caught an animal. And even if the people know, they should give it to those they want to give. The Southern Cameroons, the former British Southern Cameroons, the part that left Nigeria, that was a minister with the Eastern Regional House of Assembly at Enugu in Nigeria, is not for sale. The ICO can do their mining or whatever business they want to do on their own. They have every right. But if they want to dabble into issue of this nature, they should know there is no room for them. No matter how they whitewash it, whether they say they have 36 countries, things that do not happen that way. Oh, we have 36. ICO, they have become the IMF. They have 36 countries that are starting to support us. They are doing this, they are doing that, they are doing that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. It doesn't. And it will not work that way. We have shown it already. We do not even see that when something happens to one brother, it might affect the rest of us. We celebrate it. Or to one sister, it might affect the rest of us to celebrate it. We don't know when our turn is coming. It's to show you how fractious we are. And our inability to understand what to do. The consultative committee is a creation born out of discussions with the United States Institute of Peace. I was at the heart of that discussion. When they met in DC, we had agreed that meeting should hold. I've told the consultative committee to always make this very strong. Let people know how it was created. And even before it was created, I thought it was wise to bring Dr. Ayaba on board. Myself, Dr. Ayaba, Barrister Chaps, and the UC official responsible for the situation in the Cameroons was involved in these meetings. As much as you see was not willing to have Dr. Ayaba participate because they said they are using the same network with the State Department. And they do not want Dr. Ayaba to be involved in it because of the position of the United States. I still thought it was necessary for him to be part of that meeting so that we can move forward. They finally agreed we had that meeting. Whatever happened is a long story. So, the consultative committee is not a creation of Dr. Fontaine Leba. You people should leave that man alone when it comes to this. His eagerness to find a solution might put him in trouble. Yeah, there are people like that who are pushful, who wants to make sure something is achieved. But that is not a fault. It is for you to oil it and make sure it works. You see me? I've fallen out with so many people. But like as I said, I don't have permanent enemies. When Dr. Fontaine came to the US, they brought him to my house. That was my first time to meet with him face to face. Even after he has refused to pick my call while I was in Kundenge. But I received him. I talked with him. I don't have enemies. I work with everybody. In this struggle, people have dragged me to the left, dragged me to the right. And the reason they attack me is because when they say come this way, I think people are here, I will go there and listen. I do not have enemies. No one here is my enemy. If I have an enemy, it should be La République du Cameroon. Even those who tortured me. Those who tortured me. I've forgiven them. I've not forgotten. But I have forgiven them. Because I cannot bear that in my heart until I die. I've forgiven them. That is why when I sat with Echo, I told him, they tried 5 times to kill me in Nigeria. But I was sitting here with you to find a way that we can both come to the table to negotiate on how to resolve this conflict. That is how it works. It doesn't make me a Superman. To forgive is not easy. It's a very difficult thing. Especially people who have almost killed you, who have tortured you, who have dehumanized you, who have reduced you to nothing. You must develop enough courage to say, I forgive you. Remember, they were doing their jobs. As much as in doing that job, they betrayed their humanity, because there are things that somebody can say, go and kill that person. You realize that, why should I go and kill that person? And then you decide to say, I will not do that job. Better I die than to do that job. They were doing that job. That will be the argument. However, whatever they did, whether there were errors, there were mistakes, it is left between them and their conscience and their God, whichever one they believe in. So for me, I don't have enemies. So don't waste your time to throw insults or call names or what. No. I just say what I want to say. I'm saying it and making it categorically clear. The consultative committee never at any time said they want to take over and run the process. The idea was PRAP will work with them, because ICO at this juncture reach out to PRAP, as they are saying, and then they come on board and work together, because they are representing an entity of people to make sure we do the right thing. And then PRAP became resistant. They make 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. 4 steps forward, 10 steps backward. That is why we find ourselves this way. Why PRAP is doing that, James Holmes is doing his own the other way. And now everybody became misunderstood. It became like, oh, Dr. Fontaine and his team, they want to come and take what PRAP brought to destroy. No. PRAP didn't even bring anything. PRAP is being used for an end goal, a business end goal. That is the way it is. PRAP is being used. Because this model has never existed anywhere in the world. It has never existed. We are not the ones to give an incentive with somebody who say they are negotiators to the other side to come to the table. No, we are not giving them incentives. You can only bring up an incentive which comes from both sides if you act as a middleman, rather than acting like you want to hoodwink one side to fall prey to the whims and caprices of the other side. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. They might have, maybe somewhere down in them, They have a good intention that they want to resolve the problem. But for me, I don't think so. Because of the way they have carried themselves, they have prosecuted things so far. So don't go online and say, Dr. Akwanga said this, Dr. Because for me, anything I say, I'm prepared to own up to it. I will not hide it. Thank God none of you came here and said, Dr. Akwanga came behind and said, oh, let's go and collect that money and share it. Or give me the money, I want to buy this. No. I made it categorically clear. We must make sure whatever comes out of this can benefit the combatants on the ground. Because that is priority number one. They are the motor, the engine that is fueling this struggle and turning it in such a way that we can continue to stand up to the occupier. When you want to liberate yourself, you must understand that all of these things happen. It's a pity that we find ourselves in this situation. It is not me addressing La Republique, it's addressing someone who said they belong to this. And then look at even the group that JJ Asongu say he's running. They call themselves whether AP, what, I don't even know. I don't want to call that name here. You see, even what they sign is about one Cameroon. What they sign, they're talking about peace. God. It looks as if the biggest curse that has affected this struggle is the number of doctors, PhDs that we have in this struggle. They have reached a level where a vast majority have become useful idiots. The way we carry ourselves is sad. Very, very sad. It's very sad. We no longer understand how the fight is going on. We no longer know how our people are dying. We think every time we should just come online. When I come there, I say, Doctor, it's a long time you have not been online. You don't run the struggle here. I can only come and say these things, I go. If it is like this, then we are not running the struggle. You don't run the struggle here. You don't. You don't think about the combatants only when you want to. You have to think them 24 hours, 24/7. That is how you liberate yourself. You can't make different standards. You can't do that. You contribute money in the village committee. Maybe they chop the money or the fund takes the money and sponsors the child and the rest. Yet you still continue to contribute to the village committee. When it comes to the issue of the Southern Cameroons, you start complaining that, oh, we gave money to this person chopped it. Even when you were giving the money, you saw the red light. You continue to give it. Why are you complaining? That is how it works. You need to turn and say, okay, I will go the other way and see exactly what I can do. So no one is going to hold someone with good intentions who will come in, bring a good operational plan and say, this is the way we can prosecute this. But this is what I'm saying. No amount of conferences and meetings will be valuable if we do not put as priority number one our commitment to defend our homeland. And in defending that homeland, to make sure our combatants are respected and that they show equal and more respect to the communities where they operate in, to show love and protection to our people. And let even the enemy know that they are the responsible party in this conflict. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you matured, responsible. Especially when tomorrow you might become part of one of the security entity in that land. If you don't start taking responsibility now and knowing how you can fight to defend your homeland, then we are in big trouble. In big trouble. So my people, that is the situation. If there is anything I've not discussed yet, I will not hesitate to come online to talk about it. I will not. But all what I'm saying is simple. Any group that thinks they can go out there and find an organization and think that organization can deliver to us and wants to run that organization as an individual stuff, they can go ahead and do it. It's their freedom. If the organization to believe in them and think that through them they can achieve whatever aim they want to achieve, let them go ahead. But if that group thinks that whatever they have seen or they have caught, they want to bring it so that the rest of the people or the vast majority of the people should have a buy-in into it, they should know that they are not coming to dictate. They are coming to bring it, put it on the table, and let every other person inside help to build it the way it will work for everyone, for the good of our people. That is the way it works. There's no two ways. You don't complain. You just keep going. That is the way it works. Otherwise, you are deceiving yourself. The Southern Cameroons is not for sale. Ambazonia is not for sale. You want to resolve conflict? Be prepared to spend the money. Don't call Zoom meetings. Take flights. I told ICO. Fly over and meet the parties you think are important. Sit down and talk with them. Because by sitting and talking with them, you will have patience. The type of patience that Mr. James Holmes doesn't have. When you sit in a meeting, he easily gets annoyed when he thinks his position is not being accepted. And when he gets annoyed, he becomes defensive. And the defense is mostly the issue of money. We cannot put in our money. We cannot spend in our money like this for you people. No, it doesn't work that way. It is because he's talking on Zoom. But if you come in, check into a hotel where we are meeting for 2 days, even if we were sitting face to face for 1 day, we will be able to understand ourselves far better. This is how all responsible organizations have done. Either they invite you to come sit down with them, and if you have time, you go, or they reach out. But most often, those who actually want to get involved do not invite you. They reach out to you. Remember, when organizations reach out like that, they also reach out to their partners that were involved in these things. That is how their partners sponsor those processes. They don't take that money to come and give to you. They take that money to run the process they say they are engaged in. So it is for them to reach out, put it in the budget. Come to DC 5, 10, 20 times. Sit down and talk. Don't take the shortcut of going to Zoom where you spend nothing. Because money is everything you think about. Not about resolving the conflict. It's not going to work. This is the issue I'm raising, and I've raised this issue already with them. They might not be happy that I'm saying what I'm saying, but I have to say it because the people they are working with went online and talk about me. They went online and lied. They pushed me to make sure the people know this. I thought this is something that can be resolved. But I realized it is not being resolved. They continue to hoodwink our people, to lie to them, to think they can just come up and just resolve issues. Even if Mr. Biya sits down with Capo Daniel to make peace, he's not going to achieve a permanent positive peace. It will not work. Because trust is number one thing. I've told Capo, even with all your good intentions, you have lost trust from the people. The people don't trust you. I've told him that. Put that in mind, whether you like it or not. There are people who might be wrongly suspecting you that you've collected money from La Republic. They don't have evidence. It is the way you operate. They have done that to me also. But however, you have lost trust. And the first thing you need to do to gain that trust is to show that you can work together with others in a more productive way. If you don't do that, you are on your own. You are on your own. You can run your organization how you want to do it. You are on your own. It will not achieve anything. You are on your own. Because this is where the problem is. It's trust. You can't bring me into something that you go and say, oh, I'm talking to Dr. Akwanga. Yes, you're talking to me because I will talk to you. You're not my enemy. People might not like you. But I told you clearly that you have lost trust. I told you that. And I explained to you how these things work. But you are still a junior man. You're still my junior brother. You might have very good intentions of what you want to do, but you are doing it the wrong way. Others might not believe that you have any good intentions. I still believe in a level of goodness in every human being. Even the worst human being have a level of goodness. It is only for someone to look deeper, you will find it. That is the way I operate. There's a level of goodness in even the most evil person. We see it. When we don't see it to us in our own way, we see it in other ways. There is that. So we must reflect, we must think, and we must know how we go out and do these things and talk. Because it is very, very important. I am still alive. When you want to talk about me, please, do not lie. Don't say things you have no idea. If somebody came online and wants to talk about me, it would have been good for Dr. Asongu to say, this is the person who told him, or he heard it here, because I never had any meeting with him. I don't know which meeting he's talking about. It would have been good for Dr. Gabila to say, this is the person who told me. This is the way I operate. I don't work on hearsay. Don't say something like you had a personal discussion with me. This is the way I put it to you. It doesn't work that way. It is this level of gossip that has brought so much mistrust and unnecessary wrangling and hatred amongst us for nothing. No, don't operate like that. This is how it works. I've told you people. And that is why I've said it, I've addressed everybody. And I've put it exactly the way it is. The struggle continues. Despite all of this craziness, we will not give up, we will not back. We will continue to go forward. Hoping that we can create an avenue where La République du Cameroon one day will see our humanity. For now, they are not seeing our humanity. We are not humane enough. So they can kill us as much as they want. They can do extrajudicial killings and think they will get away with it. You know how many they kill from Bafu? Mama G and the others. That's Loom. How many they kill? They think we don't have those records. They do it with impunity because they think nobody is going to hold them responsible. No. They will be held responsible. They will. It's a must. And anyone among us too who thinks you can go out and do any type of things to catch up with La République or to be like them, you too will be held responsible. I am responsible for every word I say and every action I take. I will not shift it to anyone. And this is exactly what I'm telling everyone to look at it. This is your struggle. If you have nothing to sacrifice and to die for, you have no reason to live. No reason. When we were running things in Victoria, La République du Cameroon said it was because I knew very well that I could not make it in the GCE. So I want to distract other people's children to fail exams. When the time came, I passed the GCE. They realized that upon all the strikes and demonstrations which I put together, stopping May 20th and the rest in Boya, going to SAS, Bishop Rogan and all the others, Second Baptist and all those schools, it didn't stop me from passing the GCE. I was just passing a message. When you are doing something for humanity, that you put yourself in it, it will have nothing to affect your academy or any other thing. They have always used this as a means to frighten us. Give up. Give up. Don't give up. Teach your children about our struggle. Teach them of the chaos within the struggle. Let them understand why that chaos is there because of the way modernity works. How so many things are going wrong now because people can just sit anywhere and do what they want to do. And say what they want to say. Teach them to understand how things are supposed to be done. These are trying times. These are real trying times. We have a lot of work to do. A lot. Do it without fear. But make sure there is one thing that you don't do. Don't go online and accuse somebody when you are not sure on the basis of speculation. It is a very bad thing because it will bounce back on you. I'm telling you this. Don't take it for granted. Don't go online and just give people names. This one is a thief. He did this, he did that. When you don't have real evidence. I am telling you this. It will have an impact on your spiritual life. Don't take it lightly. I'm not a prophet. I'm telling you what will happen to you. Because people do these things, things happen to them, they don't know where it is coming from. And if it doesn't happen to you, especially those of you who have children, be very careful how you go out there and try to destroy the names or image of individuals. Be very, very careful. Be very careful. Make sure every time you open your mouth, do your best to speak the truth. In my head, it might not be okay for some people to hear, but say it. Like as I said, this would have been something that is resolved from the other end. But because individuals went online and said things which makes no sense about me and lied about the consultative committee, I have to come out here and put the record straight. And they should know that I'm still alive. If I'm alive, you are lying about me. Imagine what you will do when I'm no longer here. You even write books and quote me in things I did not say. And then the gullibles will believe some of those things. You put me in quotations. Because you don't fear anything. Not even your inner spirit. It's time to change. We must change our ways. We must change our ways. And we have to do that. And do that because it is important that we do that. I've spoken for a while now. Do not create this avenue for me again. There are things I really have to come online and say which I've not yet said them. But I thought it was important for me to put the record straight. I thank you all for watching. I'm only requesting that find within yourself the means to reinstill a certain level of courage to be involved in the struggle. Ask yourself that upon all the insults, the travails, the difficulties, the frustration, which I as an individual had gone through and have not given up, then what about you, who maybe you just became part of it out here in relative calmness a few days ago? Why give up? You still have something to contribute, but make sure your contribution is positive. Stay the course so that we will be able to leave something positive for our children and our children's children. The world is watching us. And a vast majority of our people are still counting on us. Don't look at fame. Think about the people. Don't think about your group. Think about the nation. Don't think about your tribe. Think about the community of humans. Don't think you should be only willing to collaborate with those who speak your language. Go beyond that. And when you do that, our foreparents will place their hands on your back. They will watch your every move. And they will help you in your every action. And the Almighty God, for those who believe in His existence, will look kindly upon you, smile on you and your family, and everyone that comes in contact with you. You can do this. So don't give up. You can do it. You might think it is difficult, but the impossible is not for Southern Cameroonians. We have gone through a lot. Just a little time. If we do it well, we will scale the Rubicon. Thank you. I've just used this song to conclude this broadcast because it falls in line with it. I have no control over it. It's being sung from the film Sarafina. I just want to make sure it tallies with what we want. The only hope I can give to you is that freedom is coming tomorrow. But the quality and the quantity of freedom that will come will depend on how you and me will want it to be. Freedom is coming. There is no doubt about it. But we have to determine the type of freedom that we want. We want freedom in a cup like this. We want freedom in a teaspoon. We decide how we want it. For a very long time, we've never had freedom. It was something that, even with our hands, our palms, we couldn't have any. So let us decide the type of freedom we want. Thank you so much. God bless you.